Hi, what's up? Let me open my chat. So as said, I will be marking it up from the daily to the 50-minute. At the end of it, I will be identifying the daily bias or the immediate bias for my session. Let's continue. Yep, here it is. Alright, we had this daily breakout structure up here. Let me mark it. This is our daily strong low. This will be my 4-hour. As for why, if you are interested in knowing why I did not consider this my 4-hour breakout structure, it's as simple as that, because the structure will be overlapping if I do so, and I don't want that. And according to the internal structure, we had this last 4-hour breakout structure at this moment. The thing is, actually I am listening to music, so I can't hear what I say, and it's a bit hard to sync both things at same moment. So yes, this is my 4-hour strong low. By the way, SL means strong low. And this would be my 4-hour week high. Alright, okay. Now what do you think? So we had this 4-hour breakout structure already at this moment. Then we had this pullback at until this point. We had that continuation confirmation after this breakout structure. So now that we are in our daily continuation, we are expecting this to break this daily week high. Let me take you all to the 4-hour structure. Wait. This would be the current interval and below. Yes. So this is your 4-hour structure, alright. Just a quick thing I want to say. The price has already come below the 0.5 level. I just wanted to show that, alright. As we can see, let's see, right? We had this internal structure break, followed by this, and then this, then this, then this. So this is our most recent 50-minute break. Let me mark that up. Oh, my bad, because I did not break that. So this would be our most recent 15-minute break. This will be the current interval and below again. Now I want to know what is the highest point that broke this structure. To find that out, just draw a box, and this is our highest point. The alright, and this pullback is confirmed. Saheba, Saheba, Saheba. This is the internal structure. This would be the strong high, this would be the weak low. Let me mark the POIs. Oh, okay. So now this POI has this liquidity sweep, or you can say this was a chalk at this moment, as seen. This has imbalance, break of structure, liquidity sweep, a chain, a strong zone overall. While this does not have that, this one doesn't have that imbalance, so I am not putting it. This has that imbalance, that break of structure, and even the bigger one. So these are my two zones from where I expect price to go if this fails, and if I show from where the price moved, it was this support at this moment. Wait. Okay, fine. EQ. This is the EQ of the 4-hour range, alright. So it will be only current interval only. Now, one thing I want to mention here is that the price or the reaction that it took from this imbalance right at this moment is not from a valid zone that I identified, but it's still below the EQ. So there is a potential that price can break this weak high, but there is more potential than there is every possibility that price can come down and violate this following the 15-minute structure and come down to mitigate these two POIs before giving us that resumption of the underlying trend. So the thing is, right now, for me to consider that we have a strong validation that this could be the potential continuation, I want to see this high at this moment violated like such, and then I will be following this continuation of the 4-hour. As of now, I am going to follow the 15-minute structure. Now, if you notice, the 15-minute structure has this internal break to the down, and we are successively in the continuation phase. So, I will mark this as a strong high. Just a minute. Strong high. L1 as H. By the way, L1 mean leg 1. Just a minute. Oh, where did I start the recording? Okay, the recording is going on. And this would be the L1 week low. Now, if you wanted to trade the L1 range, where was your possibility or the opportunity? Simple as that. If we are following the downtrend, what we do? We mark our EQ, alright, which is at this moment above this. So we identify a zone which would be this 4-hour area. You could have placed or order directly here, targeting this week low. I will switch to the one now because okay, current interval and below. And this to current interval and below. So yes, now we have this 15-minute range or the L1 structure, that is the continuation of our 15-minute, alright. We have seen a mitigation of this and we have gotten a decent reaction. By the way, you could have further refined it with this 1-hour POI at this moment. Now what to do if you want to further refine the ranges and go down? We can mark its internal structure, which is at this moment, it would be like this. Yes, it would be like after this, then this, and after this breakout we are like in a stalemate of this range. Let me mark that out in a minute. What I personally like to think of this battle in this range, or you can say like this consolidation in between this range. I personally think that market is currently deciding on where to go. because from below at this point buyers are putting pressure, not wanting this level to break, and from above we have this solid POI that which goal is to like violate the L1 week low. Alright, so to do that the price need to violate this area or this level which buyers are trying to protect. So overall the question is which level would be violated first, this level or the level up here? And if to answer that question, simply we don't know, market is imperfect, we can't guess what can happen, we can only look at the probabilities of what is likely to happen or what has the higher probability to happen. In this particular scenario, the higher potential is that this level that the buyers are protecting will be violated, because the level that sellers are is with the underlying higher time frame trend, and it is a very good POI from where people are anticipating this week low to be broken. Now it is. Now I am actually wondering like what to do right now. The first thing I can do at this moment is wait to see what is price doing, right? If it violates this level or if it violates this level, or if price come up to this level, I can potentially look for again sell side opportunities to then target those lows. By the way, if you look at this, the level that buyers there was this level created at this moment, which is a one of factoral zone. Let me just go to the 15-minute and let's see what happened. On the internal structure of this range, we had this breakout to the downside followed by this breakout to the upside. What that gives us is a continuation, bigger continuation of this whole underlying trend. So we look into the internal structure, we had this, then we had a pullback, violet, pullback, violet. So our last break of structure, that was at this moment. Oh no, it was not at that moment, my bad. Let me just look in a bit. Yes, this was a pullback, and then was this a pullback? Yes. So our last break of structure was at this moment where this underlying very short term trend led by this amazing POI finally lost its momentum after mitigating this 1-hour factoral zone and gave us that trend change right here. So what happened after that? We had a breakout again, followed by another breakout. Okay, this is actually, oh, I see an amazing setup right here, by the way. So what happened? We had this initial trend change at this moment, followed by this pullback. After that we had a break of structure again at this moment, However, we again had a trend change, but this trend change failed to keep its momentum to the downside. So what actually happened here was, this was treated as inducement for those big orders to enter the market. Right? Why? Because after this breakout, see, a lot of people would be entered here, or would have their stop loss placed at here, right? So a lot of liquidity for big buyers or sellers to enter the market from this POI, successively supporting that uptrend. And after that, what we have price coming to violate this level. Currently it's only awake, but just for the confirmation, I want a 15-minute candle closer above this level. If that happens, what will we are trading? I will be trading directly this POI. Yes, I will be directly trading this POI to target that 1:3. This was actually amazing thing that happened here, this inducement, because this gave me more confirmation that price will go up. At the very least, it will try to mitigate a strong POI up at these points to then facilitate that, or to continue that underlying bearish force. Yes, I think I explained it everything. Just let me recap. So what happened? We had this 4-hour breakout structure. After that, we had this pullback. Now we are currently in the continuation phase on the 4-hour. We have this amazing breakout. By the way, I checked, none of these qualifies for the pullback that I had. So finally at this point we started our pullback, but due to the complexity of structure, our internal and external structure, in this particular scenario my internal structure would be the 15-minute, while my external structure would be the 4-hour. So now my internal and external structure are both opposite of each other. So what do? We check what price mitigated. Imbalance, a support zone. I have noticed this, by the way, very much, that certain zones that fail to do their job or even provide the minimum reaction and are like followed by a breakout of such a big candle tends to be support zones like that. So now what happened, because I don't see a very great POI right here that has broken or has been mitigated to facilitate the underlying trend to violate this weak high, but still we mitigated something here and it is below the EQ, we can expect a price to probably have a continuation from here to up here, because that is also a scenario where price just come and violate this weak high. The second scenario would be price violating this low and coming to mitigate these deeper POIs for further reactions. Now what the thing is, I currently am following my 15-minute structure, which is this range, which had its pullback. Now it's in its continuation phase. If by any chance I want to expect that from this point I want to have a confirmation that price is actually leading that continuation to violate that week high, I at least want to see a break of this structure, and then I will be convinced that it has high probability of continuing to violate that week high. In simple terms, I want a complex structure at this moment to form for me to agree with the continuation of the 4-hour structure. Alright, now since I am following the 15-minute structure, we had this pullback, we are now in the continuation, we mitigated the strong POI, we are currently in that zone of the underlying trend. So what is that? So we have this range right here from where the buyers and sellers are deciding what to do, but currently I am more inclined to expect the sellers to win and violate this level. For that to happen, what could potentially happen is that first scenario, price go all the way up, mitigate this POI or this POI deeper, and then falls. Second scenario, there is this POI at this moment, from where potentially price can try to fall, but in my humble opinion, or what I want to do or I prefer is that if you notice, there is this POI that had been formed but has slightly been mitigated at this moment. What I would personally like is price to come up here, mitigate this POI again, taking the liquidity formed here to then continuing that underlying trend, but there is every possibility that price come to this point and then win. And the last scenario is price violate it all the way up. For that I am not gonna follow it. However, currently my goal, I will take care of these two POIs. Like, I don't want to sell directly at this POI while I can directly sell at this POI. So if price like do this, then I will be reluctant to enter at this moment, because it has already mitigating a potential zone which could potentially lead to the break of this whole structure down here. Second, yes. So ideally I want price to just like have a little breakout, have a closing, and then I can enter at this moment. Actually, I don't really need a closing. I'll just directly place an order. Now let me just create the entry, which would be entry will be plus 10, so 28, and the stop loss would be minus, so 10. and you just go here, I want to risk 1% and then just put the order up here. Now I want price to mitigate and then I can expect reaction. Yes, that is all for the analysis cleanup or whatever you may call it. Imagine if the voice is not recorded, I will be sad. Oh yeah, I have to like check that out to stop recording.